Hey, 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 hey. Happy Emancipation Day. Happy Emancipation Day. Freedom Friday. Sunshine. Hey, hey, hey. I am taking you guys with me on my other favorite thing to do. We have a celebration going on all day in Galveston. That's what I'm talking about. Texas is where it all began. Yes, yes, yes. It's where it all began. Shout out to Texas. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How y'all doing? I'm taking you guys along with me on my little treasure hunt. While I'm doing this, I told y'all on what the Guan's own is. Yeah, shoot, the Guan's own is. So, that's the crib today to do some work. So when the people trying to be loved, if the car machine is hey, 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 hey. Can you hear me? Yeah, I know how hard it is to talk with these men. Um, got some pictures today from looking for some other stuff right now. Possibly. Um, that this is the salvation. Excuse me. That's refolded parsons here. People are starting to celebrate Juneteenth. Some people are just becoming aware of it. It seems like some people are just saying that it's being celebrated. Oh, I think we got a winner. Y'all, getting that TV stand today. Not too long. Oh, sorry, so they celebrating this right now. This important for people to remember this and this is about a proclamation being signed and President Lincoln and what happened that year because things didn't actually kick off. Um, Sir, TV stand that Doug Brown has taken up to the front. Thank you. Um, so the next Abraham Lincoln, April of actually, I want to say it was January, but and December because I think I'm get this year was to free slaves, emancipate free our slaves who were being held in those states that were considered rebellious states. So didn't necessarily, but eventually things played out in Texas. The way was, and then eventually this, you know, it was rebellious states, but it was also for people that some of these union and non-union places. And I said it's out now, Galveston celebration over there for yeah, so this is a good thing. So the foliated, thank you, Lord. I'm gonna go ahead and go up front. I'll go ahead, man. I gotta take this on. How you, okay. How you doing? That's down on the floor over there. Yes, sir. Hell, wouldn't it? Have a good one. It's real heavy. Think that'll fit. I need you to just say yeah one time. Yeah, move that to the back seat. Sweet. Thank you. All right, so hold up. That's why you're the best. So much. You too. So this means I don't have to cyborg because I was going to the other store. Uh, Center. Get that one for 1997. Stand to be correct. It's not the building. Oh, I got my niece some Dr. Seuss books, old school, not from this one, but from another one. Um, I got her green eggs and ham, and um, shoot, I can't remember, but I got her a couple of Dr. Seuss books from here. Don't back out now. I'm gonna need you to look both ways before crossing the street. Okay, so yeah, so got a lot accomplished. I got some pictures. I got um, a standing mirror, one of the big mirrors that's usually like $159. I got that for $15.99. I some other decorative stuff that was like between $2.97 and $5.97. I also found some pictures in another thrift store, some big pictures that I'm going to use as headboards. I'm going to use those as headboards a little bit later. Yesterday, I found two Ashley Furniture tables. I found two end tables originally from Ashley Furniture. and I got those tables both. I got a set. I got a pair of tables for $9.97, and they were Ashley furniture tables, solid tables, mahogany tables. So y'all know I was excited about that. So excited! I was excited about that. I'm trying to see what else I get. Yeah, I got some more pictures and some little decor for the bathrooms and stuff like that. What I didn't look for was some shelves, so I don't know if I'm gonna end up trying to build some shelves or what, but I'm gonna definitely put those shelves in the closet and make it more of a walk-in closet. Of course, it's walk-in because you can walk in, but I'm gonna make it more of a walk-in closet. So, anywho, got that going on today. Still didn't finish that backsplash up. I got like 92% of it done, so I got to finish up the 8% today. I got to get on the ball. But this is how I celebrate my emancipation. This is how I celebrate Freedom Friday. I'm going to take advantage of the freedom that I have to be able to do whatever the flip I want to do at this particular time. And what I choose to do is do some, some restoration, restore some stuff. So that's how I'm taking advantage of this Juneteenth. But what I was saying in the store is on my job, I have to do like an annual program for women's stuff and for African American history, Black history. I don't know what it is. And so we do a little celebration, and we have all this food and all, good food too. We kind of have like a potluck at work or whatever. So we have all this good food and celebration of Juneteenth, and we show videos, and we have one particular video that we show giving the background on Juneteenth and all that good stuff. But then we just show other stuff so that people be, reminded of some of the history, and not just getting that history in February, okay? Not February, but February. Y'all know what I'm talking about, February. So, that's what we usually do. Because I am not at the actual building, I'm working, but I'm not at the building. So we're not doing that stuff. We have all this COVID stuff going on. So that's not even a part of the conversation right now. So, but it's good that people are even acknowledging it on a national level, because it usually, some of us are going, we'll put something up, throw a little, flyer or repost something, but on a national level, it's just overlooked. It's not addressed. It's not acknowledged. So the fact that people feel the need to acknowledge it, and I'm getting tickled with some of the things that are being put into place. Everybody's trying to come up with a way to show that they are awoke and not awake, awoke. Everybody's trying to come up with a way to show that they are awoke. So I came across, I think it was a commercial. No, it wasn't. I guess you could call it a commercial. When you're pumping gas, and at the gas, like at the gas station, when you pull up to the gas, whatever, the tank, whatever, you pull up to the what's it called, the thing? You pull up to get your gas. Now they have the little TV screens, up there. So I saw a little commercial on the TV screen at the pump. There it is, the pump. So it was for Band-Aid. So Band-Aid is going an extra mile to show that it is being diverse. Now, because I had to deal with all things with cultural diversity, then I found myself laughing, and I was so tickled, because when I looked at the little commercial, infomercial, whatever you want to call it, Band-Aid has come up with some black Band-Aids, y'all. Band-Aid got Band-Aids the color of my arm. You hear me? They got Band-Aids the color of my arm. So Band-Aid came up with, I'm going to have to say it like we said for a minute, and I'll go back and fix it. Band-Aid came up with light skin, brown skin, and dark skin Band-Aids. You heard me? So
Now I'm gonna go back and fix that. So they came up with band-aids for the brighter complected people, and they came up with medium complexion and darker complexion or whatever, you know. But I thought that was crazy. I'm like, okay, cultural diversity, you know, have us walking around with those nude color band-aids on. Got us walking around with those nude color band-aids on, you know. Yeah. Hey, I ain't mad at him. I need a band-aid right now. So I thought that was good. It's a step. It's a step. Whatever people got to do to show that, you know, that they trying to bust a move around here. So I'm going to make sure I show my support to Band-Aid. I think that's Procter& and Gamble. I'm going to show my support to Band-Aid by going to get me a dark-skinned Band-Aid. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they're doing their little thing or whatever. I went to my storage unit today, and the lady that, I don't know if she's a manager or whatever, but she started talking today, and she was talking about the stuff that was going on or whatever. You know, I'm just listening, and I have to be careful about how I approach certain situations, you know, because people be like, oh, you said, y'all know. So, you know, she was just talking and everything and talking about all the stuff that was going on, and she was telling me something about, she said it's the same what's going on. Well, she said another guy came in there talking about it. What's going on with Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben's. And I'm like, what you talking about? And she was like, they're about to take them off the package. I was like, say word. And she said, yeah, you know, some of the people didn't like the packaging and they felt like the tie or whatever that Uncle Ben had around his neck, like that represented slavery and stuff like that, and they didn't like the look that Aunt Jemima had and all that good stuff. And I'm like, yo, I didn't hear anything about it. But my thing is, I don't have a problem with Uncle Ben. I'm just saying. And I don't have a problem with Aunt Jemima. And the reason why I don't have a problem with Aunt Jemima is because the look that she has is a look that is very familiar to me. And I know, you know, some people may disagree, but it's a look that is very familiar to me. It's a look that I can identify with. And when I say that, I'm not talking about based on a slave look. I mean, it is truly a look that I can identify with, even down to the way the hair is tied. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, because I for darn sure tie my hair up like that. I'm just saying. But they called me Harriet Tubman anyway. I'll take that. So, but I haven't heard that, so I have to go and research that stuff for myself. Um, Again, and I'll come back. But because that was just part of our conversation today, I felt like it was worth mentioning. But one of the things that she said was her daughter is pregnant, and her daughter is having a baby from a black guy. And of course, she doesn't have any issues with it. But she said that her mom, a couple of days ago, made a comment, and she said, so you know that your grandbaby is going to be black. And the lady said that she was like, of course it's a Caucasian lady. She said, yeah, okay, what's the problem? Well, I just wish that he would have went and had a baby from a white guy. What you talking about, Willie? So, you know, she was like, you know, she said she hadn't heard her mom talking like that, and she was surprised that she said something, you know, like that about her future grandchild, you know. And she said they're from up north, but they stay down here now. And she said she was just surprised, and she told her, you know, you better not ever. Let me get country for y'all for a second. Let me take this to where it's supposed to be, because I need y'all to feel what I'm saying. It's not better not. You bet not. You bet not ever let my grandchild hear you say some BS like that, and you for darn sure better not say nothing like that to my daughter, or we're going to have a problem. And you don't ever have to worry about seeing them. I said, okay. And she said that, you know, she got real upset or whatever. And her mom didn't feel like she was saying anything wrong, right? And then she said that her mom thought that she hung up the phone, but they didn't hang up the phone. And she heard her brother saying, "Oh yeah, they're about to have a little niglet." Now, actually, he said nigget. Now we use the word niglet, and I know what that word means. Okay, when I say we, I don't mean it. We don't use it in a derogatory way. Like it's a it's another word. I ain't gonna say nothing. But anyway, she said they got a little nigget on the way. That's what it was, a little nigget. And he didn't realize that she was still on the phone. And so after he said whatever he said, she told him, she said, "Don't say nothing else to me. Don't call me. Don't visit me. Don't say nothing." So while she's talking to me, she's getting upset then, and she's saying, she can't believe that they're looking at her daughter like that and her granddaughter. But her biggest thing was she couldn't understand how her and her sister grew up in the same house with those parents, grew up in the same house with that brother, and her mom or her brother, could come out their mouth saying some stuff like that because she never heard them saying it before. And she said it's almost like all this stuff that's going on and brought it out of them. Like maybe they weren't being honest about how they felt before. So I'm talking to her, and I'm like, the best thing that you can do, I said, don't see your child or your grandchild, don't allow them to, put it out there like that's something negative, because it doesn't matter what color a child is. A child is a blessing, period, point blank. And I said, the best thing that you can do, or that you guys can do for that child, is to make sure that he or she knows his or her history on both sides. And don't try to hide anything from him. I'm going to say him right now. Don't try to hide anything from him. Don't try to, cover things up or whatever, but make sure that that child knows both sides of his or her family, and make sure that they know their history, period. And the thing is, I said, I don't think when it comes to that you have so much to worry about, because everything is on the individual. Just make sure that your child is armed, or that grandchild is armed with knowledge. And that's the biggest thing, whether you got a white child, black child, Hispanic child, whatever. Just make sure that they're armed with that knowledge. Make sure that they know their culture. And I think that's what a lot of people are not doing. So, especially with this stuff with Juneteenth going on today, June 19th, y'all know what it is, And again, I say, even though this day is celebrated on today, June 19th, the official, what I would call the official emancipation, didn't actually take place until December of 1865. And then that was still a work in progress. So just knowing where all this stuff, where it started at, just knowing that history. Just knowing that history. But I almost wish that mom and that son were up in that office today so we could have a little conversation, because I don't mind having a little conversation with you when we talking about stuff like this, And she said that it was, she said it's a shame, how they're destroying all these statues and stuff like that. She said that's part of history too. I said, yeah, but at the end of the day, whose history is it? That's the first thing. And you have to be certain that whatever history is being taught, that it's not one-sided. So if you're going to put, this statue up here of John Lee or whoever you got up there, if you're going to have that statue up there, then you have to make sure that you're telling the entire history behind whatever monument or statue or whatever is being put up there, the entire history. Don't leave out the bad and just say, the good part, or try to sugarcoat something because, you embarrassed about this part, so you leave this out and make it seem like it's not that bad. No, you got to tell the whole history. You got to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. And I think that's where a lot of people are, kind of missing the mark. The other thing we talked about was law enforcement. And like I said, that's where I have to make sure that I'm walking a certain way in that, because I don't want to come across as somebody that's 100% for law enforcement. I don't want to come across as somebody that's 100% against law enforcement, because at the end of the day, for me, it's a double-edged sword, because as a black woman, actually it's triple, being black, being a woman, and then working in that line of duty. there are certain things that, if you say, people might not understand them, or they may choose not to understand them, or, they may backtrack or hold off, kind of bite their tongue on what they have to say if they know that you do a certain type of work. I want you to be honest about whatever you feel. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to call you on some stuff because, when we get to that Black Lives Matter thing, that, like I told y'all before, that's where my problem lies. All the lives matter until it's a life that may have on blue or black or gray. And I think that's hypocritical, because if all matter, if all black lives matter, then it doesn't matter what their occupation is. They all matter. When it comes to law enforcement, this is how I feel. This conversation we're having today. Do we have nasty cops? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do we have nasty white cops? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do we have nasty black cops? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do we have nasty Asian cops? Abso-freaking-lutely. Do we have nasty Hispanic cops? Abso-freaking-lutely. Now, let me go a little bit further than this. Do we have nasty white, black, Asian, Hispanic, and other people that are not cops? Abso-freaking-lutely. So my issue with that is when it comes to this certain thing that we want to point out, okay, they're cops, we want to put everybody in one category. We generalize. We overgeneralize and put everybody in one category. But whenever acts are done by a specific group, let's say, two black guys were involved in something, then we have a problem when people take that situation with two black guys and maybe three black guys and maybe two or three different groups of black people being involved in something, and they overgeneralize and say all black people are such and such. Or if you're dealing with white people and something happens with them and there's one or two involved, or maybe groups of, two or three, five, whatever, we overgeneralize and say all white people. I think that speaks to our ignorance. Putting everybody in one category because of a select few, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. And it's just like committing crimes or whatever. Just like these five guys, these teenage guys, preteen guys that were involved with the stuff at the store, and the police was called in Georgia and he drew his weapon on them or whatever. You got some of these kids saying, I didn't know anything about the gun or whatever, or the BB gun. And like if something would have happened, y'all know in the law, like the hands of one, it's the hands of all. Like that's what it is. But in reality, the individual is going to say, look, I ain't have nothing to do with that. Don't put me in, whatever. Like, just because they may have done this before I came on the scene or before, like, I didn't have any involvement in that. You can't put me in that category. Well, that's the way that we want people to look at certain things. Like, don't put me in that category. And that's why whenever people come on here and they're talking and they'll say y'all, and I want you to specify who y'all is. Who is y'all? I never met y'all. I don't know y'all's social security number. I don't know y'all's date of birth. I don't know y'all's, I don't know their ethnicity. I don't know y'all's your gender. Like, I don't know nothing about y'all. Never met them. Never met them. So that's how I look at this stuff. So it doesn't just pertain to the stuff with police officers. I look at that stuff as a whole. So if one person did it, if two people did it, if three people did it, then it's those 1, 2, or 3 that did it. If this happened over here, then it's that 1, 2, or 3 that did it. I'm not going to go and take one thing and put it on an entire group, because that is overgeneralization. That's exactly what that is. That's the term for it, overgeneralization. So, and again, y'all know what it is. I'm getting ready to hit these country slopes. So should this phone start buffering, just hang on for a minute. And we'll keep it pushing once the buffering goes away. But that's just something that I wanted to have a conversation about, because whenever I do my work or whatever, I can't go and push this group to the side and say that I'm not going to give you the things that you are entitled to. I'm not going to do the things that I know that you are supposed to have. I'm not going to do these things because you're a part of a certain group, or because you are in here for doing a certain thing. I don't like people that do this stuff. I can't go and just um, be selective and just don't going in there picking and choosing who I decide to do the right thing with. And so that's why I look at things in life in general. Like I can't I refuse to pick and choose whenever it comes to who's entitled to what. If it's something that they're entitled to, then they're entitled to it. Period. My feelings have nothing to do with that. If it's something that you're entitled to, I have to take my feelings out of it because it has nothing to do with my feelings. And if I put my feelings in it, then I'm impeding on your rights. And that makes me just as bad as the people that, I have a problem with that like to step on people's rights. So that's why I do things the way that I do it and handle things the way that I handle it. And that's why when we had the conversation the other day, I went ahead and let things roll. Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna fall back on saying that everybody is entitled to certain things. Now there are some people that feel entitled in life, and that entitlement doesn't have any merit. There are certain things in this life. There are certain unalienable rights that we all are entitled to. Those entitlements have some basis. Those entitlements are justified. So I would do my best to try to make sure that everyone that is entitled to those things have access to those things, regardless of whether they're being accused of A, B, C, D, E, or F. That has nothing to do with making sure that they receive those things, that we all are entitled to. Hope that makes sense. If it makes sense what I'm saying, I need y'all to give me a one or something so I won't feel like I'm just throwing this stuff out there, just saying something, just saying it. Just let me know. So these are the type of things that I reflect on this day, on Juneteenth. Because what a lot of people fail to realize is that even though black people may have been freed physically, our person may have been freed. If you are a slave mentally, then you'll never be free. There's a type of mental enslavement. There's a type of mental captivity that no physical chain, like they have nothing on that mental enslavement. So if you can't free your mind of buffoonery, if you can't free your mind of foolishness, if you can't free your mind of negativity, if you can't free your mind of, manipulation, if you can't free your mind of lies, if you can't free your mind of certain poison, then it doesn't matter what Emancipation proclamations were signed. It doesn't matter how many bills get signed. It doesn't matter how many laws get passed. There is not a law that is going to free you mentally from that mental enslavement. There is not a cutter that can cut those chains. There is nothing that is going to free you of that mental enslavement except you. And that's what I'm seeing a lot of right now. So when we celebrate this day, I think we need to be mindful of those of us, even if it's us, those of us who are not truly free. Even if that freedom or that slavery involves substances, you're a slave to certain substances, you're a slave to non-substances, you're a slave to money, you're a slave to sex, you're a slave to other habits that you cannot break. Until you free your mind, until you rid yourself of those things that hold you captive, then you will forever be enslaved. So That's what it is. I need y'all guys to talk back to me. I hate talking to myself. Summer cookie. Okay, hey, not summer cookie. um, but this is just what it is. This is my take. You know, some people may agree, some people may disagree. This is my take on life. This is how I handle things. This is how I approach things. Um, oh wow. Ew. So this is where I am. This is where I am. Why am I summer cookie? Me no say. Me no say. Let me know. So we have all these things that are in the works. I did finally see the situation with the police officers that were involved in the Wendy's situation. So both of those police officers, because it seems that some other stuff may have taken place that was not on camera. Um, any of those things that fall within that unlawful or disrespectful category, they're going to have to be held accountable for that. So, contrary to what may have been done that was within the operations of their said duties, if there was something that happened after that, then they're going to be held responsible for it. So, um, like I said, I'll be following up on that, keeping track of that, because anything that's done to someone that you're supposed to be protecting and serving, if it's done with ill or malicious intent, then you are responsible for that, and you're going to have to deal with whatever consequences come out of that. I find it interesting at this point, again, y'all, going back to that Emancipation Proclamation. That was one of those things that it started changing things. It represented a turn in history, right? So when somebody finally looked and said, look, you know what? These and this may not have been their reason, I'm just saying this. These people deserve to be free and walk around and have the same liberties that we have. Of course, I know that they were not saying that. I'm putting my own words on this. Then you see papers being signed, and this is not the reason that the papers were signed, but whenever you see those things happen, it represents a turn in the time. And when things start happening in one place, then people tend to follow suit once they see that they have, okay, well, somebody else is doing it. Well, let me go ahead and do this. So that gave them some type of opportunity to start changing things. Those things left from the 1800s. They went into the 1900s. They're now in the 2000s. And we're still going with this stuff, and we're going to see how far it goes. But everything that happens represents certain turns in history. Everything that was going on during the civil rights era, that represented certain turns in history. We're back at these turns again, people. We are back again at such a time as this, and we have to take advantage of these particular times. We have to take advantage of these times. And so to sit around and believe that, us doing something like it doesn't matter, it matters. It matters. And now is the time, if you ever had any issues that you wanted to deal with, or that you felt, you were being treated unfairly in a certain situation, these are the times to bring those things up. Hey, One Papoose, how you doing? How you doing? I'm good. I'm good. I am good. Right now is the time to bring those things up so that they can be heard. We have to take advantage of the situation. The same way the situations take advantage of us, we have to take advantage of those situations while we can and do whatever we need to do, but we have to do everything decent and in order. Papoose, you don't have to go to work today? We have to make sure that everything is done decent and in order so that our voices can be heard. So I'm actually, even with the stuff that's going on, um, like I said, I hate that anyone has lost. I'm working out. Okay, okay. Has lost or people that I'm pretty sure other people will lose their lives along the way. And that is never okay. Oh, am I here by myself? The other people will lose their lives along the way. Um, So we can't let this moment just pass us by and not count for something. While you have people's attention, you better make some noise. You better make some noise and make sure that you can be understood and that they hear what you're saying. It's time to make some noise. So, um, we're definitely going to take advantage of these moments. I am. I don't know about y'all. I am. Um, and anything that I see that's within my power to say something or do something, I'm going to keep saying something, and I have to deal with the consequences later. Ah, dang, somebody is here. Dang it, I know that's bad. I like having my time to myself. But, Lulu, hey, hey, hey. Hey, back this thing on up in here for a minute. Hopefully there's no, debauchery and stuff going on here. I don't know what I'm walking into, so y'all. All right, y'all. I'm gonna have to come at y'all a little bit later because I gotta do some work real quick. I know I'm cutting y'all off. I told you I was gonna keep you posted, but I gotta get this done really quick. Um, so I'm gonna come on back later on tonight, and we'll have some conversations and continue our Juneteenth conversation. So I'm gonna have to keep y'all back.